Hello, everyone. Welcome to another RodaTalks. My name is Renan from Roda de Ginástica. You guys know me. And I'm here again with Carl from Axel Lips. You guys know him from Instagram. Hi, Carl. How's it going?
Hi, good. Feeling good this morning. How are you guys?
I am doing fine. And today we have a very special guest. She is a member of the Romanian national team. She is European finalist and Paris Olympian and finalist as well, and future Michigan State University athlete. We're talking about Lilia Cosman. Welcome to our podcast.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting. It's a pleasure. Actually, you're the first Romanian guest in our podcast. I love Romanian gymnastics. You're going to see through some questions here.
Okay.
So, first question is, how did you start in gymnastics? Like, I know your older sister, she used to do the sport as well, right?
Yeah.
But would you say that your Romanian heritage had some influence on it as well?
So not really. My parents, when they were younger, they would watch gymnastics and they were always so fond of it. But when they had children, they didn't think of putting us like in it until my sister. So she walked pigeon-toed, which is like you walk with your feet kind of a little bit inwards. And they went to the doctors to see how to correct it, and they said like put her in sports that use your feet, like gymnastics or soccer. So they put her in gymnastics, and then I wanted to be like her, so I was like, put me in too. And then that's kind of how it started.
Oh, that's good. What age did you start?
I think around 4 years old.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
pretty standard.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you trained. So you trained in the United States until you were a level 10. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How was this is kind of a two-part question. How was that experience for you?
It was a very wonderful experience. I definitely loved the environment and the coaches. So our gym went through some changes and COVID, so that was really hard, but it was really fun. I think it was a good like thing to experience both level 10 and like this elite gymnastics, because I can see like the difference and I can enjoy both. So I'm really glad that I did get to go to level 10.
That's good. When you're in level 10, especially in the United States gymnastics organization is massive. Were you always thinking that you would go elite when you were at level 10, or were you kind of like, oh, this might be like the end of it for me?
I was always thinking that I wanted to go elite, and we just were trying to figure out how.
Yeah, that makes sense. The United States has a lot has a lot of different processes, so
Also, like in 2022, you switched nationalities to compete to Romania, for Romania, actually. But actually, you never had a license for the US, right? You went straight to Romania.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did your debut in Romania, which is like a big thing because gymnastics in Romania is a big thing as well. Like it's I would say it's their national sport. As far as in Brazil, it's football or soccer, right? And in the US, I think it's pretty much football. So how did it work for you, like, and what motivated you to compete for Romania instead?
So ever since I was little, I kind of had like this thought of like going to the Olympics, going for Romania. I never really had it from like the US. And I always had this one coach that would be like, one day you're going to go for like Romania, you're going to compete because both my parents are Romanian. So it was kind of always there. And when I would visit Romania, I would go to the gym so one time we went to the gym that was like far away. And that's where I actually ended up going like now when I went there. And just what kind of motivated me was this goal of like the Olympics. Like I want to complete it, and I was willing to do really kind of anything. So
Amazing.
yeah, that is amazing. I love that like all panned out to you, especially your first Olympic quad.
yeah.
Well, speaking of Romania, going from the United States to Romania, When you started training and living there, you started obviously training with new athletes, a new country, new culture. Romania has more of a centralized system, which is not the same as United States system. How would you compare your two experiences, like training throughout the United States, and then switching and training in Romania?
That's a really good question. So so in the US, there were like a lot of people, like a lot of gymnasts at each gym. Like, I don't know if you guys know, there's so many people, and the coaches have to really like find ways to split their time. But that's a club that I went to in Romania, and the national team, there's like smaller groups, so they can kind of spend more time with you as like an individual. But they had like coaches they had like a coaching change last year. So like right when I came, they like switched coaches. So I don't really know how it was before that, but these coaches, like one of them was from the Netherlands, and then one was from like America, and then the other two were Romanian, and they were trying to adapt like kind of what like that more healthy gymnastics, like, listen to your body, do what's best for you, like not too many numbers, but not, so they were like really helping us, and it ended up really helping us and helped us qualify. So yeah,
that's really good to hear. I mean, Romania has such a history with gymnastics, and I know the history is not always good history in terms of the training, at least what some athletes have talked about in the past. So it's good to hear that they really prioritize like the health of the athlete and not just like do numbers over and over and over. And I'm happy that it helped you guys qualify. I think that's a really big deal.
Yeah, I also really like Patrick and Damon, which I think these are the coaches that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and then our two Romanian coaches, Florin and Corina. So they were willing to help make that switch happen.
Oh, that's really nice. Because Romanians, they can be very proud, like Brazilians are as well, especially when it comes to our national sports. So, like, I follow a lot of Romanian gymnastics, and I noticed that there was a lot of resistance towards Patrick and Damon at the beginning because they were foreigners. I know where it comes from. I'm not saying that it's right, but it's like in Brazil, in terms of soccer, we also have problems in accepting a foreign coach, for example.
Yeah.
So, how did you perceive this resistance, like towards them, and like you coming from the US as well, even though you're Romanian?
Well, so we heard it a lot, like, we would see it everywhere, and we kind of knew it was happening, but obviously we tried not to think about it. Like, they were going to say what they were going to say anyways. So we just had to work on in the gym and get better, and then obviously prove them wrong and show them what we can do. And that's kind of what we did. So then it like spoke for itself.
Exactly. Like I saw a lot of negativity online everywhere, and I was like, "Oh my God!" But they are doing a good job, and it's noticeable like how Romanian gymnastics changed during the time they were coaching there. It's really like noteworthy.
Yeah, but the negativity, it made me sad this year because I feel like Romania has been slowly coming back in terms of like the team and their competitiveness. And from my perspective, I'm like, okay, it's been so long since there's been a Romanian team that have qualified to the Olympics, and the negativity is clearly not going to help anybody. Like, no athlete is motivated by reading negativity everywhere. So that like really bummed me out, because I'm like, I don't think this is helping anybody.
Yeah, it was kind of pointless. Like, you guys are commenting to like kids, negative comments, like it's not helping. So the coaches like were telling us like, don't look at them, like just kind of do what you need to do, like focus on yourself. So
yeah, which is good. I'm happy they said that, because in this world with social media, everyone feels like they can have an opinion even when they can't even do like a basic cartwheel, and it's kind of like maybe you shouldn't hold that opinion to yourself.
Yeah.
So when you went to Romania, how was the overall training environment with like other athletes, like not just the coaching and everything? Like, did you feel like you were able to like connect well with others, train well with others? Like, was that like healthy from going from the United States to Romania?
Yeah, so when I first came, I trained at the club, so it was like younger gymnast, and I didn't speak too well, so I understood like almost everything, but I didn't speak too well, and they were very patient, like the little girls, and they like loved me because I think they just thought I was cute because I didn't know how to speak very well, but they were nice and they were helpful. Like if I needed anything in the gym, like they would help me. If I needed, like they also didn't know too much English, but it was okay. Like we understood each other. And then when I moved to the national team, it was like at that point I knew a little bit more Romanian, and they were all nice. Like I love them. We're all like really good friends. We live together in like a little commune, it's called. I don't know what it's called in English, but they're nice. And if I like ever need help, it's like not knowing a word in Romanian, like they'll translate it. Some of them know English. Like, and now that Damon and Patrick came and spoke in English, like they really understood English. So I get along with them really well. Like nobody's been mean. They're all like really good people.
Super cool. And a bit after joining the national team in 2022, you became the national champion on bars and placed fifth in the all-around and also fifth in being the Romanian nationals. How did it feel for you to have this very nice like start nationally, and did you have in mind that your bars could become a key routine for Romania?
It definitely made me very happy and like more confident. So I kind of went out there and then I saw that and I was like, okay, like maybe I got this a little more than I thought. And it definitely added a little bit of confidence, and yeah, that's kind of.
That's good. I'm curious too. When as you started competing over for Romania, was there any? Did you feel any pressure coming from the United States? I mean, currently the United States is like the powerhouse when it comes to women's gymnastics. So, before you even started competing over there in 2022, did you feel any pressure? Like, oh, I'm from the United States, I need to be like amazing.
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, oh, these, like, I gotta really show them. Not like show them, but I wanted to show like myself that I could do it. And then I was like, oh, everybody's gonna, be whispering like, oh, she's from the US, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I'll just kind of do what I can and we'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. Yeah. And congrats. And because also in 2022, you had your international debut as you're still a junior at this point, I believe, and at the Gym Nova Cup in Belgium. So you placed fourth in the all around and you got a team bronze. So continuing having success your first year. How was that for you? Like, how did that feel? And how was that experience for you?
So it was very exciting. So it was like my first international like meet, and I was just taking it all in. I was obviously a little nervous, but I went out there, and then my mom always tells me like, just do what you like, how you do it at practice, no nerves, like you got this. And I kind of went there, tried to keep the nerves at like a low. And then when I saw how it ended up, I was really happy.
Good. You should feel happy, and congratulations again, because that is a lot of pressure at a very, very young age. So
thank you.
Yeah. And also moving on to 23, it was a heck of a year. This is like a lot of things happening. You became a senior. You helped Romania to place fifth in the team final at the Europeans. Romania hasn't been this far in the rankings for some time. And you won also the all-around bronze at nationals. Behind Anna and Sabrina, so pretty much became like the third Romanian gymnast in just 1 year, and helped the team to qualify to the Olympics, which was also a big feature. Romania was out of the Olympics for 2 quads already, like Rio and Tokyo. Even with like also a lot of unnecessary negativity. This was like a bummer, and we as fans, we could feel it happening as well. But simply like you guys, you proved them wrong. So how was it for you? How was this year? How would you summarize everything?
Okay, summary. So we at the new year we got the new coaches. So I had just switched over to the national team. So we were trying to get like more like we tried to know each other more and get used to everything, the new changes. So Europeans went and we were trying our best just to show them what we've been working on, and that's what happened. Then after we started going to gyms in Germany to train on like better equipment because the ones we had, like it hadn't been, the gyms we had weren't as like, I don't know how to say it, but like, you know, the pits didn't work. So we were training on different equipment and there's a lot of hate, but we were trying to get, you know, not look at that hate. So then training for Worlds, obviously people were starting to feel a little bit pains and aches, but they did really good, like keeping us healthy, listening to our bodies. Then nationals, I think, yeah, I really like nationals because I kind of went out there and I was like, this is going to be like a good practice meet for Worlds. So I went out there, showed what I was training on, kind of really happy how that ended up. Gave me a little bit of confidence right before Worlds. And then at Worlds, we all were a little nervous. You know, we wanted to show, like, we were told we could make it. It was just like, if we did what we've been training, we would have, like, we would make it, is what we were told. So obviously everybody wants to make, everybody wants to do their best. And we're all nervous, like, you know, what's going to happen if we don't? And we're like, you know, don't think like that. Like, we're going to make it. We can do this. And we went out there and I think we really showed the world that we should be at the Olympics and at, you know, on the Olympic stage. And we were really working together as a team, you know, cheering, trying to help each other. Like, if one of us got a little bit nervous, like, you know, you got this, don't be nervous. And it was like a really good meet. And then we stayed there. So our meet was at 5 a.m. Or like, that's when we woke up for the meet because it was like at 10. And then we stayed there, I think, until midnight. And then until we saw that we qualified. And we were so ecstatic. It was like we were jumping, like screaming. It was just a dream come true for everybody. Like, not even going to Olympics, just knowing that we had the chance to go and we changed like the history because we hadn't been there for 2 quads. And then we celebrated after. So it was nice.
How did you celebrate? Like, did you go for eating something different or what?
Yeah, so the coaches, they brought us down to the lobby of the hotel and then they gave us like a little dessert and then like drinks and they gave us a little speech and congratulated us and we played games the rest of well, not the rest of the night, but a little bit.
Oh, that's cute. We talked with some other athletes and they were like, pizza.
We did get like a pizza. I think that was that night we got like a pizza because we hadn't eaten the whole day, so we got like a little pizza and then the next day they gave us like a little celebration thing.
Nice.
It was really exciting to watch. So I was actually able to go to Antwerp for those Worlds, and as like a super nerd when it comes to gymnastics, I was telling some people that I was sitting around, I'm like, I think Romania is going to do it. Like, and I'm excited to see them back. And because I think it's hard to have such a history of like dominance that Romania had for so long. And I feel like once a country loses that dominance, even for like a quad, I feel like a lot of people tend to just like throw that country away, and which is really unfortunate because then that just impacts the younger athletes coming up. And so I was really, really excited for you guys, just as a fan, which is nothing compared to you guys, of course, but I thought that was amazing. So I'm happy that happened for you guys. And speaking of that, and of course, only share what you feel comfortable with. During the 2023 Worlds, obviously, as it progressed, there was a lot of negativity. You know, a lot of it became public, you know, with Catalina Ponor and all the news that was going around at the time. How how was all that for you? And it also showed that your coach the coach Patrick was also very protective, which is really good to see, at least from the fan perspective. How did you deal with all that? Like, what was going on in your mind? You just qualified a team, or you helped qualify a team to the Olympics, and this was like the takeaway, essentially.
I think it made us a little, maybe not mad. The whole situation was complicated, and it was definitely a little like upsetting to hear that people were focused only on like the negative and what they were saying. But I think each of us were just really happy that we had qualified. So we were kind of letting that overtake the negative. But the Ponor situation kind of happened to Anna, and we all tried to help her not get too stressed and angry. So that's kind of, it wasn't too much. I know on my part, I tried not to think too much about it, because then I would probably get more upset.
Yeah, because which is good, especially knowing like you're not going into an Olympic year potentially on an Olympic team. And I was really sad that so much of the conversation regarding Romania was about that, and not like they qualified a team, like Romanian athletes made event finals at Worlds. Like that was for me, that was such a bigger deal. And it was a bigger deal to see a country that used to be so dominant coming back. So I was very sad for all of you guys that was the headline.
I got really sad with all the situation, because they are pretty much like the titans or the stars of the most recent history of Romanian gymnastics, but they're just acting like children. So it's anyways, me as a fan, I got really sad with this situation, and I'm really happy that you girls, you just dealt the way you dealt, and Patrick was there backing you guys, which is really nice for a coach to do,
Yeah.
Moving on a little bit more to 2024. You competed Euros in Italy. Romania placed 4th in the team final, so a little bit higher than the previous year. And also you made beam final, which was your first individual final, right?
Yeah.
And how was it for you? Like, because Romanian beam is pretty much like a trademark, right? And I don't know, like, tell us a bit of how you felt back in Italy.
Okay, so I'll tell a bit of background too, so ever since I was younger, I loved beam. Beam was like my favorite. And then as I grew up, I kind of was like, I don't know, it's okay. And I kind of lost confidence in 2023 and a little bit before that on beam. It was definitely a weaker event. And Damon was always like, you're going to be a good beam. You're going to make beam finals. He's always really making me confident on that. And I was like, maybe I can help Romania, because at Worlds, I didn't compete beam. It was known as my weaker event. And it was my first meet, big international meet that I was competing all 4. And I first time competing beam at a big stage, and I opened on beam. And when I hit, I was like, oh yay, because I'd been hitting constantly at practice. It was a good event. It's just not my favorite. And when I saw my score, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. I'm so happy I just stayed on the beam, did what I do at practice. Really happy. Then at the end, we saw I made finals. And I was like, I just made finals? I was like, it's my first finals. It's on beam. So the girls were really hyping me up about it too, because they're like, oh, you made beam finals. It was my first final. And I didn't have a Leo either, a finals Leo, because I didn't think that I brought one, but it was an old Romanian Leo, and the coach Corina, she's like, you can't wear that's your first finals. You have to wear something that's new, makes you feel good. So Anna actually lent me one of her Leos, which is from her club. So that was really nice. I'm really thankful for that. And I went there, and they were just telling me, kind of go out there, just do everything you can do, no pressure, go out there, give it your all. Anything can happen. It's a beam final, everybody can fall, everybody can stay on, anything can happen. Just go out there, don't be stressed. So I went out there zero nerves, kind of just doing what I do. Obviously a little nervous, but trying to do everything I could. And I think it really showed that it worked because I got fourth and I was like really happy.
That's amazing. And congratulations. Because again, I don't think even myself as like a lifelong gymnastics fan, until you're the person doing it, like until you're the person out in the arena in front of thousands of people competing, no one truly knows like that pressure and that feeling. So I think that's incredible that you made a final on an event that you weren't like the most confident with, and then you did really well, which I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm curious if you don't mind me asking, what is your favorite event to compete on?
I like bars the best.
Nice. I love that. Well, speaking of bars, so we're going to fast forward to the Olympics, which before I even go into this question, congratulations on making an Olympic team.
Thank you.
Was that actually, even before we talk about the Olympics, can I ask you, so what was your reaction when you officially made the team? Like, how did you feel? Did you and your family celebrate? Like, what was that like before even going to the Olympics?
So when they told me, I was like definitely like smiled from ear to ear, like, a little teary-eyed, really happy. And it definitely felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders a little bit, because that pressure, like everybody felt the pressure of getting on the team. Like they're like, oh, and my dad was in Romania at the time. So the rest of my family was at home, but my dad was there. So he congratulated me and we went to dinner later that week, like in the weekend. But that's kind of how. And then my mom and sister called me to congratulate.
Nice. Well, yeah. Well, congratulations again, because that truly is an amazing accomplishment.
It was after the Rome Trophy, right?
Yeah.
Well, and so now coming up to the Olympics, so you guys were in the first subdivision. And I thought you guys did an amazing job. This was another competition I was very, very lucky enough to go to live, and I was very, very happy that you guys made team finals. Just going to put that in there. But you guys had an amazing qualification round, clearly, because you guys qualified to team finals, which is the first since the London Olympics in 2012. In qualifications, like take us through, if you don't mind, take us through your uneven bars routine. Like I know that you had to adjust the routine. I know that there was a mistake. How was that for you? Like what was going through your head at that point?
So when I kind of messed up, fell, I had never done that before, ever. And since I'd been at the Olympics, I had not messed up my toe full at all. So I definitely felt like a little bit upset and maybe a little bit angry that I just messed it up and I'd been doing it like really good at the practices and just in general. So I kind of fell and I was like a little confused what had happened. Not like what had happened, but like how it had happened. Like, and then I quickly, got myself together. I was like, okay, I have to finish the routine, like not make more than one mistake because, make one mistake, okay, but finish the routine nicely so you at least get like a okay score. So I talked to my coach and I was like, oh, he's like, just finish the routine from the Maloney. And I was like, okay, do I put the blind full in? And he's like, yeah, let's put the blind full. So I decided to do the blind full, which I had done before, but training wise, I hadn't really trained it. It was always there as like an idea in case that did happen, but I don't think I had trained it, or at least recently before the competition. But I do a blind Jaeger, so I was like, it's the same thing. Like it's been in my body, like my body knows how to do a blind full. So I just finished the routine. I was trying to stay calm. I was like, just swing at the bars. Like, you know how to work it. Don't get stressed because that's going to mess everything up. And in the end, I was just happy. I made a decently clean rest of my routine, but I was still upset at the fact that I did fall on something that I don't usually fall on. So that was kind of.
Yeah. It was a very unlikely fall. But you had a really quick thought, like to change to do this giant full in order to regain this requirement that you would lose. I mean, congrats on that as well. Like anyway, first Olympics.
Yeah, how was it because again, similar to 2023, You were in the first subdivision, I believe, in 2023 as well, or one of the earlier ones at Worlds. And now here you are again next year in the first subdivision. And again, like as just a fan watching all the qualifications in the arena, it felt like multiple days had gone by because it's so much gymnastics. So by the time it's finally over and all the qualifications over, how did you guys respond to like officially making team finals, being able to qualify to that final? Like, how was that for you guys as a team?
It was very exciting. So us girls, we stayed together in the little room apartment, and we were celebrating. We were like, yelling, dancing. It was definitely a very good moment to know we made it, because it was on the we weren't sure if we were going to make it or not, because, it was very close with all the teams. So then when we did find out we made it, it definitely made everything a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Because again, like it's not about any negativity, but like I remember thinking like, well, like people had a lot to say. And like now now this team is in team finals, which I thought was very well deserved. So again, congratulations. And how was like team finals, and how was like the rest of your just Olympic experience in general?
So for team finals, I knew that was my last meet. So I kind of just tried to take everything in one last time and go out there and just, work as a team. Like we were all trying our best to just be there as a team and really show the world like what we have to offer, and like let our nerves go down a little bit. So on vault, me and the vault have a little bit of problems sometimes. So I was like, just do what you do. Because sometimes if I get nervous, I start to change things. So I was like, just go there, do how you usually practice. Like, we've got this. So when I did my vault, it wasn't the best, but I landed it. So I was just happy. Everybody was really happy. It was on my feet. So just happy after that. And then on bars, when I finished it, I definitely was really, really like excited, because I made the routine, showed the world kind of what I'd been training, and finished my Olympics with that good routine. So
I was just gonna say congratulations. And I mean, again, like I feel like the Olympics are such a huge deal for any gymnast, and like truly, I just wanted to say congratulations on not only for yourself, but you were such a big. I mean, all five of you were so important to get Romania back to a team final. And in my opinion, which this is just an opinion, I don't think it's about like oh, they didn't win though. It's like, well, no, but like I don't think it's all about winning. So again, I just really want to say like congratulations on being part of that, because I think that's a really big deal.
Thank you.
Exactly. And like at the very last event of the Olympics, of course, there would be drama involving Romania. It wasn't with you, but it was with two teammates of yours, Anna and Sabrina, and also Jordan Chives, like with the US. So for us fans, it was already kind of a crazy situation to think of all of that. But could you tell us a bit of the vibes, like within the Romanian team when that happened?
Yeah. So I roomed with Anna. She's like, I love her. Like, we're best friends.
Yeah.
Sabrina, I love her too. She's amazing. But she was in a different room. And obviously after the whole thing happened, like both were very sad. Like they obviously just were really close to the medal, got it, didn't get the medal. So they were both very upset. The whole dynamic of the team kind of changed because everybody was really upset. And I think I really tried to help Anna and Sabrina get out of it, like that little sluggish state. But Sabrina was kind of in her own room with her mom, so I couldn't do that good. But we all went over there, hugged them, told them like they did an amazing job, because they both did amazing. They did the best they could. Like, you probably couldn't do better than that. And with Anna, she's in the room, so I just told her not to think about it, because everybody keeps bugging you about something that makes you sad. Like, it doesn't help. So we were trying to do things to get her mind off of it. And then the next day, it was my birthday. So I took her, we went to Disney together to kind of get her out of that, sad state. And then just we were all trying to not talk too much about it, but also like, you know, if she wanted to get something or Sabina wanted to get something off like their chest about it, we would let them. And obviously just we were standing right there behind them, supporting them. So that was kind of the situation.
Yeah, like I don't know, for us it was like, damn, that's rough, you know, because the whole situation is insane. For all parties, actually, for Anna, for Sabrina, and also for Jordan, like in the end. But anyways, I don't think there is like a right way to solve it. It shouldn't have happened in first place, you know. But yeah, very nice to hear that you were there to support Anna, Sabrina, and everyone, because a friend is what one needs during these situations, I think.
Yeah, and I just want to say too, and I don't want to hover on this topic for a long time either, because it's not the most exciting to talk about. But I know for me and on my social media and stuff, I always try to be like positive towards gymnasts no matter what, because it's a sport that we all love. And I think for me, I've been trying to tell people that have reached out to me and talked to me about it. I'm like, I try to tell people like we should be kind to all the gymnasts involved, and it's still going like now. Obviously, that's a whole like legal issue, which I'm not going to ask you about, by the way. But yeah, I just wanted to say, if there's anyone listening, like just a reminder to like stay kind. It's really no athlete's fault, and they just did a routine, and the judges did what they did. So yeah, I'm happy that she was able to have support, and I'm happy that you got to like actually be there for her, because it's still going on. So it's been like 5 months. Anyways, so moving forward though, so the Olympics end. You signed with Michigan State, which is exciting. You start the NCAA season, I believe, in 2026. Is that correct?
2025. So next fall.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, 2025. So kind of looking forward now, like what are your personal like plans or goals or thoughts about like the next Olympic quad, and like balancing elite with NCAA? Like, what does that all look like for you?
So it's obviously going to be like a do and figure out situation, but the goal is training for the 2028 Olympics while also doing college. So I'm going to come here, train with my coaches, Mike and Nicole and Devin, and then they're going to be in contact with my Romanian coaches, and when I need to go there, I'm going to switch between both, probably summers in Romania, and then finish this competition season, then go compete for Romania, and then if needed, maybe like a gap year where I like probably the Olympic or the year to qualify for the Olympics, maybe a little gap year, figure out what to do there. And we're all just going to work, like both sides are really like willing to work together, which is, I'm really happy, and just see how it goes from there.
Yeah, I love that, especially since you're now about to be, or soon you'll be an NCAA gymnast officially. And are you happy that in the last like quad and a half even, that there are more gymnasts on the women's side that have done both elite NCAA, that it's not just like, because it used to be almost unheard of for women to do both. Does it make it easier knowing that you've seen athletes do it?
Yeah, it definitely puts a little bit of like confidence, you know, seeing that other people have done it, it can be done. Like, so it helps me calm a little bit down, you know. It's like, oh, you know, I don't know if I'll be able to handle it, but it's been done before. Everybody's like willing to work together, so it'll work.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm happy to hear that all the coaches are willing to work together too, because from what I've heard in the past, like like far back, there used to be like, if you're a NCAA, like that's it. We're not talking to your elite coaches. Like we're not doing that. And then the elite coaches would be like, I'm not talking to NCAA coaches. So for me, as someone who's again loved the sport for a very long time, I'm very happy that you have a team that's willing to work together. And I think you and all athletes who want to do both should be able to do both. So I'm happy to hear that.
An extra question that I have here, like, why did you choose MSU?
There was a lot of factors that went into it. And just because we're on the topic, I'm going to start with this one. So I explained to them I did want to go to 2028, and they reassured me that they were going to do everything they could to help me reach those goals and continue what I wanted to do. So that kind of really finished it off. And I've known the coaches since I was like really young because they're right next to us. And they're just amazing people. All the girls are they're amazing. And the program's growing. So when I was younger, they weren't obviously always this good, but it has grown significantly. And I just want to help them grow even more and, maybe make nationals and get that and like NCAA title. So I think the school was really good. It has a lot of options school wise. And I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but they've really assured me and they have like the tools to help me kind of make a decision. And everything that was about MSU, I just loved it.
That's really nice because there are some schools that they put some barriers, right? Like, oh, no, you're a college gymnast. We have our calendar, therefore you cannot miss the appointments that you have with us. But especially now, since it's been more common to balance both college and elite. So it's really important that coaches have this adaptation, let's say like that, right? And who is your inspiration in gymnastics and what legacy do you want to establish in the sport?
I think Rebecca Andrade. I don't know exactly how to spell her, like say her name, but I think Andrade. Yes.
Yeah.
She's definitely one of the inspirations right now in this time because she's grown. She's come back from injury. I think she tore her ACL maybe at a time, and now 3 times. That's great.
So, yeah, 3 times.
So she's came back from that, and now she's like one of the best gymnasts, and she definitely inspires me a lot. She seems like a very amazing person and like down to earth too. And just seeing how far she's come in the gymnastics world, it really helps me, like not helps me, it really motivates me kind of and just helps me like look up to her.
We unfortunately have a history of injuries in Brazil. Like Rebecca, she tore her ACL 3 times. Jade Barbosa 4 times now. And yeah, she's 33 years old. And she is recovering from her first ACL tear and she wants to come back. I'm like, okay. and yeah, this resilience, we spoke about it, me and Carl, in an episode we did about Brazil and US. And yeah, I can see like, and for me, it's a honor, honestly, being a Brazilian to hear this from you, because in the past we looked after the Romanian gymnasts, like, and American gymnasts as well, like, and it's super nice to hear that, honestly.
Yeah, and it's just again another reminder to be kind to athletes. This sport is sometimes very unforgiving, and people who have never even gone into a gym should probably not have comments about a gymnast at the Olympic Games. Just to throw that out there. So both Patrick and Damon were announced as the new World Championship Center coaches. Their contribution is clearly undeniable for Romanian like success in this past quad, especially in terms of like routine construction and like the artistry. How do you think their leaving will impact the Romanian program going into like the LA 2028 games?
That's a really good question. So I'm really happy for them. Thank you. I really want to thank them for everything that they did do for the Romanian gymnastics, because I don't know what would have happened if they hadn't been there. But Corinne and Florin, the other 2 coaches, so they're still coaching us, and they've kind of adapted that style and everything they've taught us. And now we also have Moni, which is she was on the national coaching staff, but she wasn't able to travel with us all last year, so she kind of stepped down. So they're going to try to keep that and then also implement like their style a little bit. And I think they might come back for artistry possibly. I'm not really sure about anything, but we're just going to kind of see how everything goes. And for the next quad, I guess see how everything. I mean, I'm gonna be leaving for the U.S., so these coaches are also gonna impact like how my training style and like artistry and everything. But then the rest, I think it's gonna kind of be, figure out as it goes and see what plans we have. Like, I don't know if they've made any plans for like coaching situations or areas, because like all last year we trained in Bucharest, and now we're training in Deva, where we used to train for like school, because this year it's like more about school. So we'll just see what the future has to hold for us.
Do you prefer training in Bucharest or Deva?
I liked it. I was fine with either, because we were training in Izvorani, which was right outside of Bucharest, but it was just a little more isolated. And in Deva, it feels a little more like home, because we have everything there, and the gym, the school, the girls, the juniors. So I think I like Deva more, maybe. But
And Deva has the status, right? Because it used to be the center of the Romanian gymnastics in the past. I still remember you weren't born back in 2004, but the NBC like a broadcast, they always had that little movie before the competition, and they would say like, these girls, they live together, they train together in Deva and everything. So Deva for us, it's pretty much like a mythological place like that for the gymnastics fans, let's say like that.
Do you have any specific goals at all for NCAA or going back into like the elite world for the next quad? I know the quad is 4 years long and a lot of things can happen, but do you have any personal goals, even if it's as simple as like qualify a team again? Like, any thoughts or things that you're aiming for personally?
Yeah, so for NCAA, I want us to make it to nationals as a team and maybe get the national title. And then for this upcoming year, stay healthy. Well, for this next quad, stay as healthy as possible. And then Europeans, hopefully make some finals, and World Cups, make finals and get medals, fingers crossed. And kind of just make our names, or my name, be a little more known, and just show what I've been working on, show everything I can do, and then just go from there every year, kind of improve slowly or fast. That works too, but just improve, be the best I can be happy with the sport, and then just continue to love for it. So
I love that. And I wish you well with all of that. And actually, I have one more question. You reminded me, do you have any skills that you're like working on or would like to try to work on, or anything that you haven't done or you want to improve on, anything skill wise you want to change?
So for vault, I want to get that double twist. So I've worked on it like on and off, and I think just really like getting it consistently. And then floor, I want to try, I don't know, play around with some tumbling passes. So the new code change has like really impacted like connections and all. Like, so I did the whip 2.5 punch front, and then if I would add like a front half out of it, it would be 4/10 bonus. So we've talked about playing with that one a little bit, which is exciting, because it's a complicated, like the whip 2.5 is a little bit complicated for me, because it can go a little like sideways, whatever. But I think that would be a nice change. And then maybe playing around with, I don't know, anything. I just want to kind of play around with everything, see how it goes. And yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah. Well, you have a long quad ahead of you, so that should be exciting to at least give something some tries. So again, I wish you all the best luck with all that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And last question: what message would you leave to younger gymnasts and also to your fans in Brazil, the US, or like whatever they're listening this from?
I just want to let all like gymnasts or anybody kind of know, if you have a goal, don't give up on it. Even if you think it's not going to happen, like, don't think like that. Think positively. Anything can happen. Like, if I didn't, after COVID, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And look at where I am now. Anything can happen. Don't give up. Be confident. Be positive. Take everything in. Like, definitely just take a second. Don't let everything just pass. Like, look, take everything in and just be happy and confident.
I love that. And actually, I have a follow-up question to that. In your career so far, what has been your highlight? I think most people would assume the Olympics, but like, I want to, from your perspective, what's been your personal highlight so far of your career?
I would say I probably have two. So that beam final at Europeans, because it definitely made me put things into a different perspective. And then same with the bars at team final, because it was a good end note, and I was happy to end that way and show the world. And definitely at the Olympics, I tried to, like I said, take everything in and leave all the nerves behind, because I was like, this is like a once in a lifetime or twice in a lifetime or 3 times, a very rare experience. And why would I come here and, just be nervous? It's my last meet. And I was like, just give it my all, and it'll do. Like, whatever happens, it'll happen. Like, just kind of do it. And I looked around, took everything. I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's really an amazing experience to just be here and compete and show the world how far I've come.
That was it from my part. I don't know if Carl has anything more to say.
No, I just like getting athletes' perspectives on like their own personal highlights, because talking to more and more athletes, people I think always assume like the Olympic Games or the World Championships is a top moment, but the more athletes I've met, the more it's like, well, no, it's actually this other part of my career. So I always love hearing that from your perspective, and I'm happy you're able to take it in, because that is an amazing accomplishment, especially historically speaking for Romania. You should be very, very proud that you're continuing that history.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Lilia, thank you very much for your interview, for sharing your story with us. It's, I don't know, I really loved it, honestly.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me on the podcast.
All right. So guys, follow Lilia Cosman on the social medias as well, like on Instagram. We're going to tag her as well. Also, Axel Lips, Carl here. And of course, follow us in our socials as well. We're going to keep posting some really nice interviews here. And Lilia, thank you very much again. And well, for everyone, stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.